Hello, Assalamu alaikum, adab, and welcome to Goff Shoff with EjaySam. Dukkito, amda, well, how can I put it? Earlier on, I had some friends come over at ono kisu deri igise, and then to top it off, I've had some technical problems. I couldn't connect to the internet, so আমার router সমস্যা আছিল. So I had to reset everything and trace wires, etc., etc. And eventually here I am. So, dakherek kota, better late than never. So here I am. Asha kori apnara holpala asun. And okay, let's make the most of the show and the time that we have today. Obviously, like as usual, I'm that short শুরুতে আমরা কিতা করি লাই অন্য আমরা আমার outside দিয়ে আছে round here. Where is it? There you go. অন্য studio number আছে যদি আপনারা ফোন করতে চান ফোন করতে পারবা. You can speak live, so we can have a chit chat chinwag live, or as normal আপনারা কমেন্টের মাধ্যমে interaction করতে পারবা, and we'll take this topic forward. So today, topic of discussion is technology. Technology আমরা কিরকম ভাবে আমরা affecting করে in our daily life, in terms of, let's see, technology আমরা social life ও সামাজিক লাইফের মাঝে কিভাবে affect করে আমরা বাচ্চাদের যে development তারারে কিলাহান মানে এফেক্ট করে আমরা দৈনন্দিন জীবন ডেইলি লাইফ কিরকমভাবে এফেক্ট করে টেকনোলজি আসলে কি আমরা লাইফে মানে সোজা ইজি করতে দেয় না তার বিপরীত আমরা হয়তো একদিকে আমরা সময় বাঁচাই আর অন্যদিকে অন্যান্য মানে গুরুত্বপূর্ণ জিনিস আমরা হারাই so just for those that aren't really good in Bangla, but Buzdana don't understand. Tonight's topic is about technology in our social life, child development, and in our daily life. How does it affect us? Is it beneficial? Does it pull us back? We're going to chat about that. So before we actually go and chat about it, as usual, we need to do what we do best, and that is share. So afnaro share horuka, like horuka, start sharing the video, and once you're doing that, I'll be sharing it as well. And let's get some viewers in, and let's get some people interacting. And this is an interesting topic. Diki amda mane kottutuku amda ogrosor hoitam pari eta luia. ব্যাপারটা বুঝি আমরা what's going on, এটা কিভাবে আমরা এফেক্ট করে ডেইলি লাইফের মধ্যে so আপনারা শেয়ার করুকা আমিও শেয়ার করতাম so let's see how it goes. Oh dear, I obviously made a boo-boo. So I'm just going to copy the post. Let's see. Copy the post. Okay, let's try again, shall we? Are you guys sharing? I hope you are, not just looking at my bald patch. Let's try again. MBS group, post, that's better. Right, so let's get back to where we were. Okay, so yes, Assalamu alaikum. Let's see, who have we got here? I'm ready. This by Dekhra, Jackson Mia, Salami Jibra, Lenny Sai is watching. Lenny Sai, this by Patapati Huida Sheshnaniba. Yes, yes, Ubati Leramba. I'm doing the Bata parties, and Lenny Sai saying his thinking. Yes, you know, it does take a while these days, I'm afraid, but there you go. And that Tawheed Rahman Bhai is watching. Assalamu alaikum. So guys, I'm that topic as scared. Again, I'm going to repeat topic which you get technology and its effects on us. What do you think? Do you think technology in our social life is affecting us? Is it hindering our development? I'm not by changes, you know, like technology. Does technology sort of withhold child development, or does it, you know, like affect child development in early years? What's your views? I'm there Fazaloch by Tain Dekhra. Assalamu alaikum Baisab. Thank you for joining us. We've got Mohammed Shazan as well, is watching. Mohammed Shazan over there. Salam Sasa. Walaikum salam. How are you, Bats? Are you okay? I hope you're alright. So, what are your views on this topic? Do you think technology amdar ashole oggroshor na hoy amdar fishone dike ner? Apnara dharana ta kita. We've got Mustaq Tufail Bhai is watching as well. Salam, respected by good hosting. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. It was really good to see you the other day at the Oldham Boishaki Mela. You know, we always interact on Facebook, but it was really nice to see my brother live, which was fantastic. And inshallah, we'll see more of each other in the near future, you know, with various different cultural events and activities. And, you know, there is a lot happening in the background, inshallah. So, right, Mazumia is saying, it's given us sleepless nights. Which is, yeah, you're right. How do you mean, sir? Sleepless night kita. Khali television dekhoni na kita na khali phone tifanit. Kunta amra ekটু বুঝাইয়া হোসাই। আমরা ইউনুস আলী ভাইয়া হইরা shout out হই। Erenu shout out. Mohammed Shahzana hইরা, of course. Too much easy technology, people are getting lazy. Yes, good point. And like, give us a couple of examples, Shazwan. And Fazal Sodria Huidia, tech is affecting our daily life. Yes. আমরা এক বাই দিন আর এক বাই দিন আমরা affecting করে এমন হইতো পারে যে আমরা সামাজিক ডেভেলপমেন্টও হয়তো এফেক্ট করে বা physically affect করে তে আপনারা কয়েকটা example দরকার. Give us a few examples and let's see, you know, like give us some good examples as in how technology is benefiting us, and give us some bad examples as in, you know, how technology is holding us back or making us I don't know. I hope no one sues me, but you know, a generation of degenerates. I don't know. What are your opinions? Let me know in the comments. And Dad, Shafi Rahman Ahoida, technology doesn't do anything, but it's the people who use it. Yeah, to be honest with you, yes. Technology doesn't directly do anything, and it's down to the users, but don't you think it could be something? I'm going to be devil's advocate here. Don't you think that it's a temptation to make certain things easier, which means that even though, you know, like we have a clock ticking along, perhaps it's allowing us, in, you know, looking at the positives, it's allowing us to do more within the allotted time, but at the same time it's taken away social interaction. you know, the face-to-face thing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Mazlum Yahuida, it's the letter 1. Zia Rahman, salam bhai, welcome salam. Yunus Ali Yahuida, technology 10 years ago, parents wanted kids to stay indoors. Okay. Naeem Patel is watching. Salam alaikum Naeem, how are you bro? Long time no see. Let us know what your views are on technology. Is technology taking us back, or is it technology helping us move forward? What are the pros and cons of technology? How is technology affecting our social life, child development? Let us know in your comments. The telephone number is where? Oh, it's there. The telephone number is here. So if you guys want to call into the studio, you can do, and we can have a live discussion, or by all means, you know, like, let's discuss it over the comments and, you know, like, see how far we can go with it. Yunus Ali says, and technology nowadays, parents want to go and play out. Yeah, that's true, you know. I guess it's a way of keeping the kids occupied whilst you do other things. Mohammed Shazan is saying, it's like a long time ago the exams was hard. Now you can get answers from the internet. Yes. It's called Professor Google and Professor Jeeves. Oh, we've got Louis Naz is watching as well. Assalamu alaikum bro, how is it? How's it going? Let us know in the comments, you know, what do you think about technology? Is technology helping us move forward as a race? Is technology holding us back? Is technology making us a bunch of degenerates? Is technology sort of holding back social interaction? And we have a caller. Let's see who's on the line. Hello, assalamu alaikum caller. Khair khuida, khuida. Oh,
I couldn't come today.
My partner in crime. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. I just thought I'd give you a call and put my 2 pennies in. Do you really have your tamaki?
Acha, te doba. Wala han duifini dola hoida amar ek pound dubo.
About 2 pennies. This topic is a very big topic for myself as well.
Okay.
Reason being, you know, the way things are going at the moment, I feel very strongly. Unfortunately, you know, technology, among fast Zaraki, it's unbelievable, right? It's going rapidly. We can't stop it. And what it's doing is it's preventing our own natural development. When I say natural development, right, everything needs a use. We need to use our brains to do certain things, research, to go out and do things. People play computer games, sports games, virtual games.
Yep.
That's technology for you. You don't need to go to the library to look up a book. You can just get it on the internet. There's so many things, and I think, unfortunately, the way things are going, it doesn't look good. Unfortunately, it doesn't look good because it prevents our brain from getting used. It makes us more lazy. Everything's instant messaging.
Yeah.
Everything's instant, and I think it works against us. Sorry, just one more thing. And also, social media and the internet has an effect on our mental ability and sometimes our mental well-being.
Okay.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert. I'm just going off my own. I could be totally wrong, but I'm just giving you my own views with regards to technology and how it's actually affecting us.
We'll get to social media in a minute. Are you all right to, you know, like, stay on the line whilst we chat?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. I'm gonna try and be devil's advocate here and talk about what you said earlier about, you know, like, kids playing video games, not going to the library. So I'm just gonna touch on those 2 points, just those 2 points alone. Right. When we were kids, you know, like, we weren't that lucky, you know, to have video games because video games weren't around back then, you know, commercially. if you know what I mean. They were
We
arcades.
had the handheld ones. We had the Pac-Man game.
Yeah.
Space Invaders.
Space Invaders. Yeah.
Those didn't really affect us much. It has with sorry.
Yeah.
It has it has those little graphics. Realistic. The games are so realistic that you can't tell. This is how technology is advanced.
You see, erehhunchoni, and like I was saying, you know, I'm going to play devil's advocate and, you know, like play on both sides. I'm going to look at the pros and the cons, okay? So, like I was saying, you know, like as kids, you know, we didn't have that growing up. So we literally went outside to play in the dirt, in the grass, etc., etc. We used to do a lot of running about. So physically, I'm not active aslam, and we used our imaginations to make games. Do you remember you know, the most common games we used to play is like surfulish, and you know, like we used to make up adventure games and, you know, like go treasure hunting.
I can reel off a whole host of names we used to play.
Yeah.
English game Follow the Leader, Express, which is hide and seek.
Yeah.
Those games, absolutely. You know, we never ever used to get bored in those
True.
days.
Yeah.
We used to love looking forward to the summer holiday, 6 weeks holiday, and all we used to do is spend days and days just enjoying ourselves and playing those games. And we never ever got bored.
Okay.
So
on that point, I'm gonna swing the other way. Okay. Now, fair enough. Back in the days, you know, like most of us were very active, okay? And let's say, right, for example, yeah, they couldn't go out. So they'd be bored stiff, you know, like either watching TV, and now back in our days, we only had 2-3 channels, like BBC One, BBC Two, and ITV.
yeah,
Channel 4, you know, it was in the 80s, I think mid-80s it started. Channel 5 was like what? I think it was early 90s or something. So yeah, it just sort of went silly. So back in those days, you know, like a video game would keep a sick kid occupied. Now, fast forward to this day and age, you know, kids, you know, like don't really get that much physical activity. And when you're talking about games, you know, games have developed to a point where, like you said, it's very difficult to distinguish between reality and, you know, virtuality. And just to make matters even worse, they've created something called a virtual reality realm, which means that you put a headset on and essentially using, you know, X, Y, and Z axis, you know, horizontal, vertical, and, you know, like sort of an axis to twist on. They're using, you know, like your GPS and a compass to a gyroscope to essentially sort of give you the feeling that once you put the goggles on, you're in a virtual world and you're interacting with it. So some people, especially, you know, like I don't know, I'm not, you know, like saying exactly that a lot of people are doing as I'm about to say, but quite a lot of, a majority of the few would be actually turning to video games and, you know, virtual reality games as a way of escape from real life, because real life sometimes can be quite tough.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
So when you mentioned about the second part of your answer about social media, I'm leaning towards that, you know, as in, yes, it does have a psychological effect where, you know, you put a face on, an actual face on, which is your true real self. And at the same time, on social media, you know, even though you're totally depressed, withdrawn from the world, and your only life is going to work, coming home, your family, and no other interactions. And on Facebook, you tend to sort of create your own sort of virtual person, your imaginary person, and you try to stick to that personality on social media. So that.
No matter what we say about Facebook, we're all complaining, but to be honest, we're all on it. We're making good use of it. We're going on live videos. We're doing uploading photos. So there's a massive positive thing about Facebook. The only thing I would say is we can get carried away a little bit with certain things, and it becomes quite addictive.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
And that's why I think it's very, very hard to draw a line and balance things out, especially on social media and Facebook, because once you're in it, that's it. And if you've got a phone handy, you're constantly looking at it, trying going in it, and it's very, very easy to go in. And it's hard to actually come away from it unless you completely come out of it. So there's just like you said earlier, there's pros and cons with technology. There's lots of pros. I'd go back to something like the sat nav.
Sat nav.
Back in those days,
the common thing we used to do is always go to town centre.
So that is brilliant. I love that bit. But at the same time, I'm learning a skill of map reading.
Yes.
That skill
is
we
dying.
Don't need to do that anymore.
It's dying. I remember, back in the days, I used to have a Great Britain atlas. Basically, all the A roads, country roads, all the motorways, Garirbuto. So, if I were to go to somewhere, I would consult that, try and find the route, look at the motorways, and then jot it down on a piece of paper and saying, right, junction this, junction that, this motorway, follow this sign, follow that sign. Nowadays, we don't need to do that because you put in your address with a postcode, and it's literally within a few meters. It actually takes you within a few meters. So when you say, right, kids, they can't read maps, you're 100% right. My youngest one, he can't read maps. He gets so confused. He's saying, how did you guys, how did you guys survive, the vast networks of roads? And, you went from one end of the country to another, just following those squiggles. So I totally understand.
I totally agree with you. I think, I don't know where we're going with this, to be honest. I don't know where we're going. When you watch these movies, I don't know if you watched a few movies, the robots take over the world. You never know. You never know what's the future like. It's unthinkable. We think it's unthinkable. Never ever can we see technology or robots take over. But you never know what lies. And I don't want to scare them or anything like that, but it just looks the way technology is going. It's very, very fast moving.
It is.
I will let your other members call in. I just thought I'd give you a call and give my two friends in.
Thanks.
Okay? Okay?
Alright, cheers. Good.
Good subject.
Thank you very much.
And hope we get lots of views from our members. Thank you.
Stay around and, comment. Alright.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks for calling. Assalamu alaikum. So members, we just had this by, my co-presenter, Khalketain Shohale Kham Bakadur Zaita, and for which reason he couldn't join us this evening. So I'm just going to go back to the comments and just read what's been said. We always had temptations, but it was always down to the individual how they approach things. Shafi Rahman Ahoida. Mohammed Shazun saying it's affecting young people in crimes. I guess so. Technology can make things easier, and with the advent of YouTube and various how-to videos and how-to, ideas on YouTube, it gives them some ideas. It's a shame they're actually using that know-how in a negative way rather than a constructive, positive way. Zia Rahman Ahoida, technology is dumbing the human race down, which in one sense, yes, I totally agree. It is, because some people, like this guy just said, let's use the example of map reading. as kids, you know, like we did what's it called? Orienteering or something, you know, where you read compasses, topography, you know, maps, and you know how to go on hikes, and intentionally they just leave you on a spot, and with the compass, and you know, knowing your north from your south and your east from your west, you're supposed to find your way through, you know, the forest or woods or whatever, and to go to a certain place. We could do that because we were told, you know, what signs to look out for. Things like, you know, the sun, you know, like rises from, and then the way moss grows, because moss grows in sunlight, not the other way around. So you know where the south is, and from there you can work out, you know, which way to turn. Nowadays, kids don't do that unless, you know, like they've joined the scouts. So that, you know, that's one thing. And again, you know, like sat navs, because sat navs nowadays are built in cars. Aro should be doing so. Gari tamayu, you know, just pop in your destination and just follow the vocal prompts, and every now and then just glance at the screen. You know, hoto easy. Arage asil, you know, like you pulled over on a hard shoulder. I mean, obviously you can't do that now. Smart motorway. So, you know, like you pull into a service station, and you know, you park up, and then you know that you pull the road atlas out, you know, figure out where you are, and you know where to go. Nowadays you don't need that. But on the plus side, you know, it's saving you time on your journey. So even if you were stuck and you think, oh no, you know, I've taken a wrong turn, or I missed my exit, and you pull up at a service station, you know, it's going to take you 15-20 minutes to figure out where you are, and to grab a coffee and visit the, you know, the loo while you're there. So that's like wasted 20 odd minutes. And you know, if you had sat nav, that saves you time. At the same time, yes, it does make time efficient, but at the same time, you know, it takes away skills. Another example, you know, like someone was saying, I think it was Shazon or someone was saying about exams and finding answers. Back when we were kids, you know, we were not allowed to use calculators. Simple. Nowadays, you know, like the argument in school is, well, yes, they can use calculators because, and the reason behind it is, they know what to enter into the calculator, what steps to do, what steps to take in order to find the end result. So let's say 4 times 4, or 4 multiplied by 4 equals 16. So the steps would be press 4, the multiplication sign, 4, and then press the equal sign, which gives you the answer. So in one sense, yes, you can't argue with it. Basically saying, right, you know, the student must understand the concept of what they're doing in order to get the correct answer. But on the same hand, you're actually missing out on mental arithmetics. So, you know, like in Bangla, for example, you know, we used to have our rhyming timetables. You know, namota, etc., etc. You know, and yet you memorized it because you know, like, so when we're multiplying something, I don't know, let's say 7 times 8, you know, shatata sappanno, automatically, because you know that rhyme, you know, stays in your head, and you just come up with it. And calculator, sometimes, you know, if it's 2 or 3 tier multiplications, then yeah, okay, you know, like if you're stuck for time and you've got a calculator handy, might as well do it. But at the same time, it is actually reducing the stress on our brain, which means we're using less of our brain. And so rather than actually doing the calculations in our head, we just follow the method of the calculation. So in our head we would say dui furon dui shoman side. So rather than, like doing it mentally, we're just physically entering it in. And we don't need to, like sort of memorize dui, furon, dui equals. And we don't have to remember the result. So in that term, yes, I agree. It is, like making us a little dumber, perhaps. I don't know if I'm using the right word for it. Moving on, Shafi Rahman, people need to understand the impact and the implication and ensure there is a balance in the way we use it. Absolutely, I totally agree with you. Balance balance within Takana, then obviously I'm that like totally without any direction. And that is a very bad thing. Yes, in moderation. Again, like I said, programmer Stato, I did say that technology can be beneficial. For example, mobile phone, it's handy. You got it there. You need to call someone. You just take it out of your pocket, dial, or if you've got it on speed dial, even better. Just one press and you're being connected. Back in the days, everyone carried a phone book in their pocket. People used to go to the red phone box or the silver and blue phone box, as it became afterwards, and like put a 10 pence piece or 20 pence piece, whatever. At the time, back in our days, it was like 2p, 5p, 10p, depending if it's local or national or international, and you said what you had to say. Sometimes, people used to write letters. Nowadays, we don't even do that. But going back to the mobile phone thing, there's a mobile phone, I say, we need to call someone, we don't need to look for a phone booth. No need to look for a phone booth, we just, whip it out and start dialing and, jobs are good. And that's just talking about a standard telephone. Now, with a smartphone, we've got more. Rather than sitting down, back in the days, people used to listen to the radio or wait for the hourly news update or the actual, lunchtime news or breakfast news or the evening news. People used to wait to see and listen to what's happening around the world. Local, national and international. Nowadays, you don't even need to wait, because as soon as, like something has happened, somewhere, some network has covered it, some news agency has covered it, and it's all over, the internet. You can go onto the BBC website, you can go onto the ITV website, or, the Guardian, the Times. I'm not going to go on with names, but you get the gist of it. And more popular now is like you've got Facebook, Twitter, and you're getting all the updates there as it happens. And if you enable like notifications, you get a buzz anyway. So forget about buzzing korbo, so you got the latest news at your fingertips. So in one sense, if it's important, something is important to you that directly affects you, then that sort of news is beneficial to you. It saves you time and effort and possibly, a tragedy even. For example, like storm notice or flooding warning or whatever. Now, back in the days, if we didn't have that, once the flood actually started coming in, that's when we could evacuate. But with technology nowadays, it can be very, very useful. We get a heads up much, much earlier. Some people actually bury their heads into news. They spend far too much time on matters that don't really concern them. So it's more of a goss thing. People tend to read about gossip, what celebrities are doing, what other people are doing, what other countries. It's good to have a basic knowledge of what's happening in the world, but do we really need to go in depth? That means, we are actually spending more time than actually we used to spend on newspaper on a daily basis. So that's a downfall as well. So where do you going back to Shafi Bai's question, where do you find the balance? That is the question. Muhammad Shazmi said it's a letter from Bangladesh, used to come like in a week, now it's a click away, yeah? You know, emails, WhatsApp, Viber, আরো কত আছে, IMO, কত কিতা আছে, Skype, you know, ওবাই টিপা দিলে হবাই দেখা যায়, you know, it's instant, everything is instant, the world is at your fingertips. It can be very good, it can be very beneficial, because rather than waiting a week for your letter to get there, because once upon a time it used to take 2 weeks for your letter to go to the destination, and then probably a week for them to write and send the reply back, and hence another 2 weeks. So roughly about a month used to pass by before you get any news of any good news or any bad news. It used to take so long, but now it's instant. There is a good side to it, there is a bad side to it. The good side is at least you know what's happening, you're keeping in touch, you can give comfort to people, you know, if they're in bad times, etc., etc. The bad thing is, you know, some people abuse it, you know, they just, you know, like sort of either Skype willy-nilly, wasting people's time. I don't know, that's my view, you know, some people, you know, totally overuses it. Oh, Jaffi Mia Bangladesh থেকে টাইম দেখরা, আসসালামু আলাইকুম জাফি, থ্যাংক ইউ ভাই জয়েনিং করছো, আশা করি মানে আমরা কিছু বাংলা আর ইংলিশে দুইয়েরা মিক্স হয়ে মারতাম ভাই, I hope you don't mind, বুঝো যদি না, যদি বুঝো তো আমরা কমেন্ট দিয়া জানাইও, বা বলে বুঝছি না তো আমরা উইল ট্রাই অ্যান্ড এক্সপ্লেন করবো আমরা বাংলায় কিছু বুঝাই হই মানে। শাফির রহমান ভাইয়ের হইয়া one thing you should highlight to parents is that they should use tech tools so that they may know a bit of what their kids are getting up to, not to spy but to keep them safe from all sorts of bad stuff. I totally agree with you. Either on software asset, okay, you know, just to make myself clear, I'm not getting sponsored by any of these guys, but I'm going to mention it because they're very good pieces of software. Net Nanny, for example, is a very good monitoring, parental monitoring software. And it has a filter, you know, after put in various different target words. Ita word all there, ita flagging korbo, আপনারা জানাইবো. Plus তারা কত সময় ইন্টারনেটে স্পেন্ড করে, কিতা করে, কোন ছাত্রমো কত সময় স্পেন্ড করছে, contents dito নাই, but আপনারা এই details all দিব. Again, you know, that sort of stuff can be abused, but you know, for the intent of purpose of this particular thing, like keeping an eye on your children, you know, what they're up to, as long as, you know, are they safe. Net Nanny is brilliant. Net Nanny is absolutely brilliant. Oh, I'm done. Afzal Mia is watching. Assalamu alaikum Afzal. Min Ahmed is watching. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us. Jaffi Mia has given me the thumbs up. Thank you. Muhammad Saim is watching as well. Assalamu alaikum bro. Thank you for joining us. Let us know what your views are on this topic. You know, is technology beneficial, or technology is superficial? Technology is bad? Let me know what your opinions are. Farul Mia is watching from Oldham. Assalamu alaikum Farul bhai, I hope you're all right. The technology that is feeding us is against our human nature. Yes. অনেক সময় আছে, you know, like I said earlier, technology মনে হলো একটা tool, একটা আত্মীয়র, আর এটা না নিয়ে ultimately আমরা রুফলে পরে আমরা কিভাবে এটার ব্যবহার করি. ফর এক্সাম্পল, একজন লেখকের আত্মীয়র মাঝে যদি কলম পড়ে, হে তার মনোভাব বা তার কাল্পনিক যা ভাবনা আছে লিখিয়া তুইতে পারবো. বাট বাজে মানুষের হাতে যদি পড়ে কলমটা, তাহলে এই কলম দিয়ে অনেক জিনিস করতে পারে, মানে অনেকজনের বিরুদ্ধে লিখতে পারে, অনেকজনের অনেকজনের মানে ক্ষতিও করতে পারে। নাও আর একটা এক্সাম্পল আমি দিই, একজন শহরের শহরের নাগরিকরে যদি মনে করুক আপনি লাঙ্গল একটা দিন আতো, হে জানতো না এটার আগা খুনবাই আর গুড়ি খুনবাই, কিন্তু কৃষক একজনের আতো যদি লাঙ্গল দেন, এবার ঠিকও জানবো এটা খালি বিচারায় তো এটা ব্যবহার করে অভ্যাস আছে, তো ঠিকও জানবো যে এটা জিনিসটা কিতা। সো again, technology, আমার দৃষ্টিতে, from my point of view, technology is a tool, and it's down to us how we use it and for what purpose we use it. Now, again, Mohammed Shahzano hoida gita. How many phone booths left now? Well, they're virtually extinct. Khoyakta ase mono asta Britain. Dorkhar forana to everyone's got, like phone. You can buy a phone for a tenner. Doshwane SIM card show kina jay, and I scale to the calling, like pay as you go, monthly credit. For example, gift কাফর যদি 10 ফোনের ক্রেডিট বড় না কি আপনি আনলিমিটেড মিনিট পাইটা, আপনার যদি রোলিং কন্ট্রাক্ট থাকে আপনি 10 ফোনে আপনি আনলিমিটেড মিনিট আর আনলিমিটেড ট্যাক্স পাইটা, তার 12 ফোনের দরকার কিতা? আপনার যত মনে চায় আপনি মারতে পারতা, যত মনে চায় আপনি ট্যাক্স করতে পারতা. So you got your communication there for a tenner. You buy a phone, a simple phone for a tenner. You put one of these SIMs in, £10 a month. Happy days, £2.50 a week. I get on average, people used to spend about, I don't know, probably about at least, five quid or something on the telephone box. Khoijaner goro phone asil. Zarar goro phone asil, like obviously national call, local call cheaper asil, national call too expensive asil, international call was extortionate. So manche bishirwag bara phone buto international call korta, I remember. So yeah, things have changed, but again for the better. Right. Oh, we've got Nanumia watching. Assalamu alaikum Nanumia. Asha kori bala aso bhai. Mohammed Shahzano hoida, there's a lack of sleep in people because of social media. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. মানুষের আসলে ঘুম ঠিকও আছে, ঘুম ওর না. That's because, like they're thinking, oh, one more post dikhilai, one more post dikhilai. It's down to you and how you think about it. Different people have different mindsets, different people have different ways of dealing with it, different people have different ways of thinking about it. So ultimately I would say the way I look at it is, it might sound a bit selfish, but if you don't draw a line, a limit, you can't, you can't switch off. The way I look at it is, I look left and right, make sure all my kids are at home, make sure my wife's at home, make sure my mother-in-law's at home. I don't have, my parents have passed away ages ago, so as long as I know they're safe, I switch everything off. We've got a call. Diki say khair phone horson. Hello, assalamu alaikum caller. Khair khuida khoitone khuida.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. Alaikum salam. Ejaz bhai, it's me, brother Ziaur Rahman from Bangladesh.
Oh, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. How are you, sir?
Alhamdulillah. What a wonderful surprise.
It's going to be at Jamaat's going to be at 5:15, so I got half an hour, but it's just going to take me 5 minutes, inshallah.
Yeah.
Just wanted to ask you a few questions about the subject, looking after way.
Sure, sure.
It is a very, very beautiful subject that I have looked into for about, let's say, 4 years, let's say.
MashaAllah.
I gave lectures on it.
Mm-hmm.
And Alhamdulillah, what I can say to you, when you were answering your answers to the question, and you were saying it's a powerful tool.
Yes.
You said it's a powerful tool, technology. Let's say anything in respect of Facebook or email, whatever,
Yeah.
or a laptop. It's a powerful tool. Now, how could you tell me that this powerful tool can be given to you and you have to control yourself? That's impossible for human. It's impossible for human nature to give a child a gun and say, "Don't shoot."
Yeah, yeah.
Try to pull the trigger because there's a trigger there.
Yeah. It's all about control, isn't
this
it?
whole understanding, this whole network, this website, this whole understanding of Google. Let's go into it and understand what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
What are these people trying to do? What
Yeah.
is Microsoft trying to do? What is Bill Gates trying to do? Let's understand them. They're the founders of all these things.
Yep.
We have to go there because I'm a child to internet. I will be destroyed.
Uh-huh.
So I have to go to them. And when we go to them individuals, those nasty people,
Yeah.
you go and see what they planned for the human race. Go and see what they planned. They actually planned what that brother said earlier on.
Yeah.
I forgot the brother's name, that it's going to be robotic.
Yeah.
It's happening now, Ejaz bhai. It's happening in Bangladesh. I saw it in Dhaka. I was shocked. You're saying, I'm from London and I know what's going on in London, but if I tell you how much dirt it is in Bangladesh, and now, you'll be shocked. So you might be teaching your children in London, and I'll be teaching my children in London. There's Norton, or there's that gummy bear, or all these protected things in internet.
Yeah.
But in poor countries like Africa or Bangladesh, where I've been in 24 countries I've been. Now, when I go to poor countries, it's this disease, this phone, this smartphone, which is every girl or every boy has got who's going to high school or a college or a let's say primary school now. They haven't got restrictions not to use it because you gave them the world. The world is in their hands.
Yep.
They will go wherever they like.
Yep.
That's why they call it the surfing. I mean, it's been all planned, Brother Ejaz. This whole thing's been planned to control human race, to forget to look at the sky and say there's a God up there. This is the whole thing. They want to remove God from us. So sorry about if I've got a bit angry with the discussion.
It's temptation. I agree.
This is the spider's web.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with what you said.
This is the web.
And, like before I also said as well, it's about, your self-control. Everyone has to have a degree of control. I'm sure, Jia bhai, that অনেক ঘটনা হয়ে গেছে আমরা দেশও বাংলাদেশও ফরগেট ইংল্যান্ড আমরা বাংলাদেশও অনেক ঘটনা হয়ে গেছে সোশ্যাল মিডিয়ার মাঝে নানি কিছু বুলিং হয় নানি অনেক বুলিং হয় blackmailing হয় for various different reasons. We're not going to go into that, but কতটা suicide হয়ে গেছে.
Well, one thing now is that this government we've got now, they're doing one thing with that. I can see security coming into Facebook and this and that. The Army League has doing a good thing on the internet now. They are putting in restrictions for children who are using smartphones. There's a special service out now. So it's all good, but the tool is out there and you can't. They're playing with adolescents. They're playing with us.
Yeah.
Because I can give as much as restrictions I can to my child. I can do that. But he has to carry a phone. And it can't be a phone which I had in the 90s, that Mercury 121. It has to be now a touch phone. It has to be linked to Google. And all this. So, brother, the thing I'm trying to say is, look, this is we have to live with it though, because these are the times, these are the signs that this is going to come. This was all foretold by our beloved Prophet when he said the laces are going to speak and your wrist is going to speak and this and that. So this was all foretold. So what I'm trying to say is that we can't avoid this. This is going to be with us. It doesn't matter how much I restrict my child, he or she will see the pornography side, unfortunately. But I'm saying we're going to live with it. That's it.
Yeah.
We just have to save ourselves
Yeah.
and save our children. But the distraction itself, I want to say, full stop, is total rubbish. This whole website, this whole surface
Yeah.
is anti-God.
Yeah.
Basically, it's anti-God.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Azhar Bhai.
Okay.
I'll go to Fajr Salah now.
Thank you for calling, bhai.
Inshallah, this program is amazing, mashallah.
Thank you, thank you.
You're doing a great job.
Okay, thank you.
Make dua for me, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay, then. Jazakallah khair.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum wa
Assalamu
rahmatullahi wa
alaikum.
barakatuh.
We've just had a call from Bangladesh. আমরা জিয়া রহমান বিচারা আমরা আই লাভ বাংলাদেশের রেগুলার কন্ট্রিবিউটর বিচারা অনেক কন্ট্রিবিউশন আমরা আই লাভ বাংলাদেশ পেজের মধ্যে করুন তো বিচারার আসলে মানে very passionate fella, as you can tell from his phone conversation. And essentially আমি হইতাম চাইতাম যে সোশ্যাল মিডিয়া অথবা যত টেকনোলজি আছে সব জিনিস হইছে গিয়া একটা আত্মীয়র। It's a tool. Now, let's say for example, I'll just use a simple example. Atura di manche kita করে মনে ওরকা খাটের মাঝে লোয়া গাড়তে হইলে আতরার দরকার সাবান্যের মাঝে মনে ওরকা নাইডিওল একটা নাইডকেল coconut ফাটাইতে হইলে you just bang it on the center and until it cracks and then you open it up. But ultimately, let's not forget, a hammer is a tool, and the tool itself isn't evil, it's the user who is evil. ওখন যদি আমি আতরা দিয়ে ওজনের মাথাতে আমি বাড়ি দিই, ফর এক্সাম্পল আমি খেউর মাথার মাঝে আমি মারি, এটা আতরার দোষ নেই, এটা তো যে মারছে আতরা যে ব্যবহার করছে ব্যবহারকারীর দোষ, এটা আতরার দোষ নাই। সো তদ্রুপে সোশ্যাল মিডিয়া বা বিভিন্ন টেকনোলজি ওরকম একটা টুল, এটা আত্মীয়র টেকনোলজি আছে। আমরা এডুকেশনের দরকার, আমরা অ্যাওয়ারনেসের দরকার কিভাবে how we utilize technology to its fullest, not for our conniving evil uses. যারা আমরা জিয়াবাইয়া হইছেন না যে বিভিন্ন bad sites etc ফুরুতাইতে দেখুন, but don't forget ইন্টারনেটও সব জিনিস আছে, এভরিথিং আছে, it's down to you what you access. ওখান যদি আপনি ইন্টারেস্ট আমরা উপরে একটা দায়িত্ব আছে, আমরা যদি ইন্টারেস্ট দেখাই যে ওকে let's use again এই প্রোগ্রাম কেউ স্পন্সর করতে না, বাট আমি নামগুলা হইয়া যে এটা মানে ট্রেনিংয়ের ব্যাপার, ট্রেনিংয়ের লাগে বা আপনারা ফায়দার লাগে। ফর এক্সাম্পল খান একাডেমি একটা আছে ইন্টারনেটও, আপনারা বিভিন্ন সাবজেক্ট সম্বন্ধে ফ্রি আপনারা শিখতে পারবা আপ টু ডিগ্রি লেভেল। খান একাডেমি আপনারা গুগল হইয়া থুকে বার করুকা, you can learn almost everything, একেবারে agriculture, biology, chemistry, physics, এমনকি writing courses, everything আপনার এখানে resources আছে খান একাডেমিত, absolutely free. আপনারা যদি শিখতে চান শিখতে পারবা। একটা এক্সাম্পল আমি ওখানে আপনারা দিলাম খান একাডেমি দিয়ে। অবভিয়াসলি যে কোনো একটা জিনিস আপনি যদি শিখতে চান টাইমের দরকার, সো আপনি যদি পজিটিভ একটা জিনিসের মধ্যে টাইম আপনি স্পেন্ড করেন, আপনার নেগেটিভ জিনিস করার টাইম আসেনি, সময় থাকুনি। মনে রোকা আমরা যারা খাম কাজ করি, আমরা 8 ঘন্টা খাম করলাম, 8 ঘন্টা খাম করে দিয়া মনে রোকা আইয়া 2 ঘন্টা বা 4 ঘন্টা আমরা স্টাডি করলাম, আর সময় আসেনি কোনো হানো। We don't have any other time left. We can only spend so much time in other activities apart from work, family. So again, as a quick example, it's just off the top of my head, like আমি একটা মেনশন করলাম যে এটা হইছে গিয়া টুল, এটা আত্মীয়র, how we use it is up to us, whether it's for good or for evil. আচ্ছা, আমরা জিতু ভাইয়া ওয়াচিং করলাম, আসসালামু আলাইকুম জিতু ভাই। আমার বন্ধু হারুন মিয়াও দেখরা, আসসালামু আলাইকুম বন্ধু, thank you for joining us. Tahir Bhai is watching as well. Assalamu alaikum Tahir Bhai. Time জায়গায় আজকের টপিক কি আজকের টপিক ভাই হিসাব হইছে টেকনোলজি আর আমরা যে ব্যবহার করতাম এটার আমরা অগ্রসর আগায়া নের কি ফিচুয়া নের আমরা বাচ্চাদের ডেভেলপমেন্ট সম্বন্ধে মানে আটায়া রাখের না আগায়া দের ও সম্বন্ধে আমরা আলাপ করতাম মানে টেকনোলজি in general, you know, like is it good for us or is it bad for us? So moving on, Mohammed Shazone একটা কমেন্ট রাখছিলা, why school getting strict? Well, that is a really tough matter to actually explain, Shazon, because education systems এটা from my observation, আমি আর কেউ observationের কথা কইরাম না, আমার observationের কথা আমি কইরাম যে it's a very tough topic and a very broad topic to discuss. I think it's better if we discuss that at another time, because ultimately, you know, I'm not time covered that on, but simply put, education is getting tough because to start with it was tough, and then it, you know, like sort of eased up, and it eased up to a certain point where, you know, things got too slack, and now, you know, they're trying to bring, you know, like rules in to unruly people. So it's a very difficult topic to discuss without actually going into details and historic views, as in how things have changed from, let's say, the start of the early, the 19th century up to present. And it's a very long topic, and I'd prefer to actually discuss this topic with someone who's in the teaching profession and someone who's mature like myself, who remembers, you know, how education was when we were children and how much it's differed over the years to present. So we'll address that in a future discussion. Now, going back to the positives of technology. Going back to the positives of technology is that what we're trying to do is look. So far, we've looked at social media and the internet. Now, ultimately, what we're trying to do is look at technology in other fields. So I'm going to just briefly sort of touch on the medical field, briefly touch on agriculture, briefly touch on exploration, and also something that's close to my heart is, you know, biomechanics and miniature electronic, microengineering, in terms of prosthetics and so on and so forth. So I'll hopefully, you know, like touch a little bit on each of these topics, you know, just on a small basis. Now, going to, you know, like technology, the pros of technology. Let's say I'm not farming, you know, technology in terms of agriculture. In terms of agriculture, what we have is, once upon a time we had to manually plough the land. Obviously, you know, topsoil mixed with bottom soil, which means, you know, nutrient-rich soil is turned and it's mixed with, you know, like environmental stuff on top. For example, natural fertilizers, various different elements, which is mixed, topsoil with bottom soil mixed, which means, you know, gives it a sort of a shake up with the nutrients for the next sowing of crops, whether it be wheat, corn, maize, or, you know, corn or maize, or pumpkins, tomatoes, and any you know, like any veggie, for example. So looking at that, you know, once upon a time we used to sort of use plows, manual plows, which was either pulled by horses. In Europe, usually in Europe, looking back historically, they always used horses. Now, looking at you know, in some of Asian cultures, you know, we tend to use buffaloes, yaks, and you know, like bulls. So in that case, you know, we tend to use these as, you know, the pulling force that pulls the plough, that in turn turns the soil, or you know, sort of ploughs the soil. Now, if that's the case, then what we're looking at is, you know, manual labour, which can be quite time consuming and, you know, like sort of energy consuming as well. Now, that being said, you know, if it weren't for modern engineering, the advent of the engine, the diesel engine or petrol engine, whichever, you know, we wouldn't have what we call it. We wouldn't have we wouldn't have tractors. So if we don't have tractors, that means that we would still be doing manual labour. Now, let's say if we had, I'm going to use a quick example. Let's say half an acre of land, and that half an acre takes about say half a day to plough. Yeah, half an acre of land takes half a day to plough. So to plough 1 acre, we need a full day, from dusk till dawn, or dawn till dusk. And if that's the case, then what we're looking at is, you know, it's a lot of time to actually, you know, like sort of plough the land, prepare the land for sowing. Now, with a tractor, we could do it 10 times faster, if not more. So if we're looking at a tractor versus manual ploughing, if we can do 1 acre a day, then with a tractor we could do, if it's 10 times, I know it's faster, but I'm just using an easy, you know, like multiplication factor that's easy to sort of calculate. So if we do 1 acre a day of full hard labour, and a tractor can do 10 times as much, that means 10 acres a day. So that's like cutting a lot of labour out and prepping more land, which means that you can sow quicker. And you know, if you have less land yourself, you can help your neighbour out, or your neighbour can hire you to help out, so you get extra income. So that's a positive about technology. Another thing that, you know, like I'd like to talk about is let's look at energy, for example. The lights that we put on, you know, once upon a time it was reliant on coal, fossil fuel, and as you all know, you know, burning fossil fuel to turn generators, you know, once upon a time it used to be steam generators. Now it's some of it's still steam, you know, based on, you know, like thermal hydraulics and so on and so forth. Now, with technology, we found out that we can turn thermal heat, you know, geothermal energy, as in, you know, like sort of heat coming from the ground, turn that into energy. We found solar energy, plus we found biofuel from algae, sugar canes, recycled cooking oil, etc., etc. So if it weren't for technology, we wouldn't move from fossil fuel to other sustainable technologies. Again, On the negative side, we can also look at byproducts of some of this development. For example, plastic bags. It's literally, like ruining the environment. Plastic bottles, plastic bags, packaging, etc., because it's not biodegradable. It doesn't break down. It takes ages and ages to break down. So, there are so many pros and cons to technology. I'm just going to try and list the pros. Now, moving on to medicine, for example. Without certain technologies, we wouldn't be in advancing in medicine or human biology. Nowadays, I'm sure most of you have seen, I share a lot of medical technology related videos on my Facebook page, looking at artificial organs, looking at stem cell research, looking at various different cancer research. Now, one of these things, I have to go back to the roots of is genetic, engineering. Now, without the advent of, genetic engineering and genetic mapping, we wouldn't advance as far as we have in, in the last decade alone, in the last 10 years alone, if it weren't for certain technologies. Let's look at prosthesis, missing arms, legs, even eyes, various different parts of your body. Some of them are just, dummy prosthesis, like essentially a rubber or plastic leg, for example, with a mechanical joint that is literally moved with body motion. Nowadays, we have prostheses that are quite amazingly intelligent. They have motors that are run by actuators that are actually fitted to the end of the limb. Let's say an arm, for example. So the actuators would be attached to the nerve endings of, your arm, your elbow, for example, and the brain impulses, the signals would be carried from the end of the nerves through the wires, through the electronics, and passed on to the actual limb itself. So again, technology is a blessing. Let's see. I would say roughly about 10 years ago, someone was actually doing some research on trying to sort of recreate the eye, but a digital version of the eye. Someone in, I believe in India, had actually managed to sort of work on a model that is basically essentially exactly the same as the CCD chip in your mobile phone, for example, or your digital camera. The chip that actually captures various points of light, and then that actually creates the pixels across, pixels down, so it gives you like so many pixels per square inch, as the industry measurement goes. And it was a very basic one. I think it was like, oh god, it's even about 40 pixels or something. It's a very, very low resolution CCD, and essentially, was it 40 or 400 dots per square inch, and it was essentially attached to the person's, optical nerve right behind the eye, because the retina, or the back of the eye, which is like a kind of a round reflector. Like on your car, you have a shiny surface behind, just behind the bulb. So when the bulb lights up, the reflector collects all the light and projects it forward. And that's what your retina is like. It's like a big reflector, and right behind it is your optical nerve, which connects it and spreads out over the the retina. And what this particular scientist did was essentially put the chip behind the retina, where the optical nerve came into contact with the retina, and put it in between. And the patient actually, for the first time, started to see shapes, not exactly something that how you and I see, or even dim. He started to see, like dots forming to, represent shapes. And it's still, a blessing. I mean, I haven't actually followed his research up till now, but ultimately, that's what science has actually started doing. So if I remember correctly, a Muslim scientist called Abu, or is it Ibn? I think it was Ibn Sina, who first created the camera lens. Don't quote me on that. I think it is Ibn Sina who actually created the first camera lens, and he basically observed that from I think it was cat's eye or camel's eye. I'm not 100% sure, but something tells me in the back of my head, I think that's the guy behind the optics. And because of his experiments and his notes, today we have opticians. Today we have the camera, because of what he did, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So, like I say, like technology is a tool. I've always said that, and I am saying that, and I will say that. Technology is a tool. It's something that we use just like a hammer. Like we use a hammer to take a nail out, a hammer to hammer a nail in. But that hammer can be also used for other things. Breaking stuff. Maybe hitting someone on the head. But you can't blame the hammer for doing that. It's the user of that tool, or of that hammer, is the person at fault. And I maintain this understanding that technology is nothing but a tool, and it's down to us how we use it. Now, if we use it in negative ways, that is our fault. Let's not blame technology for it, because technology, yes, it has temptations. It has temptations. Like there are some people that are so obsessed with selfies, they have to take at least, I don't know, 20 to 100 selfies a day. Some people like myself, I very rarely take any selfies. I only take selfies to record a certain change. So, for example, if I have a bald head, I take a selfie just to say, yes, I shaved my head. And maybe I'll do a before, like my hair is now. Before and after. And that's it, I'm not too bothered about selfies. But to some, taking selfies and foodies is like absolutely essential. They can't do without. But the camera is there. You use it to capture certain things, acts of nature, like beautiful scenery, capture memories, have friends over to capture the memory. there are so many negative uses for cameras, you know, which I'm not going to go into, but people do that, but you can't really blame the camera, can you? So guys, you know, like you know, we've discussed quite a bit actually. We've got Shaistab Mia is watching. We've got Shitubai who's watching as well. Assalamu alaikum Shitubai. Shaistab Mia, Jamal Mia, assalamu alaikum. Hope you guys are alright. Oh, we've got Farid Bhai as well. Farid Mia Bhai, how are you? Thank you for joining us. We've got quite a few people watching actually. That's really good. So yeah, I'd like to hear from you guys. You know, what are your views? What are your views on this topic? As in, you know, the effects of technology, you know, in our social life, child development, in our daily lives. Is technology improving our lives? Is technology taking away certain things that we need for human development? You know, put your comments down, guys. You know, let's see. You know, it'll be interesting to know, you know, what you have to say about it. If you know, it's what time are we on now? 12:15. So it has gone on for quite a while now. So let's see. Do we have any more comments? Come on, guys. Let's hear your points of view. You know, like let's see what you have to say about it. What are your points of view? You know, like what do you think? Is technology beneficial to us? Is technology hindering us? Do you see technology as a tool, or do you see technology as a threat? You know, let us know. You know, what the pros are, what the cons are. I mean, quite a few people have actually mentioned it, and as you can see, oh, it's on this side here. Here we go. On this side, we've got the telephone number here. You can give the studio a quick bell if you fancy. Or you know, if you're not too confident, or you know, like you don't want to speak out on the show live, put your comments down, and let's hear from you. See what you have to say. You know, quite a lot of people are actually watching, which is really good, smashing. You know, we've got good interaction, guys. You know, once you're here, why don't you hit the like button, smash the like button, share the video. You know, that would be nice. You know, share the video with your friends, family, people that might be interested, and we'll take it from there. You know, try and get as much views, and it also encourages us to sort of come forward with various different topics. And also, you know, like if you guys want to make any comments in terms of what programs you'd like to see in the future, what topics you'd like us to discuss, by all means, you know, leave your comments in the comment section, and we'll try our best. You know, if it's something that's a bit complicated, we'll try and get a specialist in. You know, I'm sure between friends, you know, we have someone who has better knowledge in certain areas. We'll bring a specialist in, you know, to discuss it with you. Jamal Mia, Shaistab Mia, Farid Bhai, Abdul Sobur, my classmate, Raju Ahmed Bhai, everyone's watching. Assalamu alaikum, guys. Thank you for joining us. Today's topic obviously is about technology, the pros and cons. You know, is technology taking us back, making us move forward? Is it hindering our advancement? Is it affecting our social lives? Is it, you know, affecting our children's development? Let's hear your views. Is technology good? Technology bad? You know, I was saying earlier on that technology, I see tech as a tool. Just like we see, you know, like a hammer. We use a hammer to, you know, hammer nails in, put nails in wood or whatever. we use a hammer, the other end of the hammer, the flat end, to try and, you know, like wedge out nails. On the same note, you can use a hammer to break things, shatter things, break things, bend things. You can also use a hammer to hit someone on the head. Now, if you do that, it's not the hammer's fault. You can't blame the tool. It's the user's fault. So, in those terms, you know, do you think technology is good for us, or technology is actually hindering human development? Let us know what you think in the comments. Come on, guys. Where are we now? We're an hour 22 in the program. So, you know, we've had a couple of calls in, you know, today, which is good. Zia Rahman from Bangladesh, you know, he called in with some very valid points, very good points. So, guys, jump in, pop your views into the comment section, and let's take this conversation further. If we don't get any comments, then I'll just, you know, like close the show for tonight. And like I say, guys, don't forget to like the page, share the page, share the videos, put comments on, allow your friends and family to watch. And also, we've got a YouTube channel. If you go onto the MBS page or the MBS group, you'll find the link there. Or better still, this is a cracking one. Better still, on YouTube, you go onto YouTube, and on the search banner, you put in erehhunchoni. So once you put that in, the channel should come up, my videos should come up. And so far, you know, we've got over 80 videos, you know, including music shows and chat shows on various different topics. So, like I say, show us some support. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Stick a thumbs up and leave a comment. You know, that would be nice. It'll sort of give us a bit of encouragement to carry on doing this, to see if it's worthwhile your time and our time. You know, so let us know. Since we're not getting many comments, I think I'm going to close the program for tonight. It's been great, you know. Thank you guys for, you know, like a massive interaction going on tonight, and thank you for the callers. Thank you very much, guys. And I'm calling it quits today, and I shall see you again next Wednesday. We'll actually sort of put the topic before we start the program, so everyone knows what's happening and, you know, what we're talking about. Okay, and with that, I bid you a very good night. Bala tahuka, shundra tahuka, shushta tahuka. Assalamu alaikum, adab, and have a good night.